What's up, YouTube? I don't need a special introduction to tell everybody not to vote. And I just seen a video that was talking about why voting doesn't work for black people. Voting doesn't work for black people just for the simple fact that the people that you're voting for are your masters, are your slave masters. And like everybody's white, all the candidates are white. Voting has always been about choosing in between the lesser of two evils. Both of them evil, and you're put on the horns of dilemma, and you're gored whichever way you turn. So that was a concept that I had read about in Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power, being controlling the options. You know what I'm saying? Whichever way you turn, they control the options. They hold the hands. They hold all the spades. It reminds me of the song that One Republic sings, all the right moves and all the right places. You got all the right friends in all the right places. That's who they're talking about. They were talking about the elite. Like the music industry has been trying to wake you up without disturbing the hornet's nest that they in. Because a lot of people get in it and don't know what they're getting into until they're already in it. And then you can't get out because it's a cult, plain and simple. So what I'm going to tell you about voting is you have to use your logic. You have to use good common sense, and sense is not common no more. So it's just sense. Either you have it or you don't. It's not common, and that's how these white elites are ruling you people. And it's like being on Earth by yourself. Because there's some people that's woke. There's some people that's not woke. But the people that's woke are stretched far and few in between. You'll never really meet those type of people that's on your same intellectual level and see the same things you see. And their third eye is not blind. Their third eye is sharp. They're working on having all 360 senses, not just 33 or 180. All 360. Humans have 360 senses. That's why it's 360 degrees in a circle. Is all sacred geometry. This all this stuff can be backed up by the great mathematicians Euclid and great philosophers. You know, so don't vote. I'm not voting. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not voting, because I know these white. I know my enemy. I know these colonizers. I know these crackers, whatever you want to call them, saltines, the devil, whatever you want to call them. I know them because they my enemy. I know them front to back. Know them like the back of my hand. I know how they think. I know they next 2 or 3 moves ahead of time. They white people. They only do so much. Like their movements, they only got a couple of go-to moves that they do when it comes to ruling black people, because we're not totally free. Your birth certificate holds you captive. They use your birth certificate. Those are ownership titles in a corporation. Your name is in capital letters, and that's how you have to learn this stuff, or you'll forever be in the matrix. You'll forever be tricked. You'll forever be subject. When the police stop you and stuff, you subject because they own your contract. Like the government, the system, the society, the way it's set up, they own your contract, bro. Your birth certificate are all titles of ownership. Your social security number are titles of ownership. And it's traded on the stock market, traded as collateral. America is nothing but a big corporation. The whites don't even care about the whites. They eat the whites alive. So you know they eat the blacks up. I'm not voting. Voting, those people are in cults, period. They're all Freemasons in orders, cults. Your vote has nothing to do with nothing. They got their own world and their own set of rules. Like it was discussed in the movie The Skulls. Like we got our own world, our own set of rules, and our rules supersede the rules of the outside world. That's why it's a cult order, and it's clandestine. You have to be white to qualify to be in it. The black people don't qualify. Black Freemasons don't qualify. They playing dress up. I called one to ask for help. I said, do you have any lawyers that can help me? My grandfather's a Freemason. I said, I need help. Do you know any lawyers? Do you have any connections? He claiming he don't got no connections. But he a Freemason though. Prince Hall. Moving right along. I'm not voting. I'm not choosing in between two evils. I'm just not going to do it. They're going to do with my fate what they're going to do with it. You know, I've already been killed once. I know what it feels like to die. So I'm not fearful anymore. I wasn't fearful then, but I'm really not fearful now. So I'm not voting. And for all you coons that's voting and thinking that I'm a coon because I'm not voting, I'm not no coon. You a coon. You brainwashed, you a coon, you a sheep. You can be herded. They the shepherds and you the sheep. These Republicans and Democrats are gangbanging on each other. And using divisive, playing on divisiveness. Donald Trump plays on divisiveness. He's not going to play it down. He's going to play it up. What did he say? He's a nationalist or something that he came out and declared he was the other day. He is so dangerous. His rhetoric is so dangerous. And he's so and he's so related to the Queen of England, to the nobility. Elite bloodlines running it. And you people are running around like you don't know this stuff, man. People know this stuff and you're going along to get along. It's common knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I ain't the smartest person in the world. By far, probably. But I got good common sense and I can add and connect the dots. How much y'all want to bet that Maureen O'Connor is related to the other O'Connor that retired from the Supreme Court prior to her? There's another O'Connor that was on the highest court in the land. And now we have Maureen O'Connor, who's on the highest court in the state. Now connect the dots. Oh, no, she not in, though. She in. She's so in. Yeah, I said her name. She's in. It's all a cult. They're all in a cult, bro. The whole justice system is a cloak for white supremacy. That's what they are, the new slave masters. Sophisticated slavery. That's what it is. And before you make a fool out of me, I'll have a white person tell you that's what it is. Sophisticated slavery. That's why the Constitution and shit say if you commit a felony that you could be used as a slave again. But what they really telling you is that you a slave, but once you commit a felony, where it goes from covert to overt. We're overtly telling you. And I've been to the penitentiary. They have a segregation and a whole different society set up in a penitentiary, just like they got this one set up. They set up and master at the top of society. That's why the capstone is missing on the pyramid, because they the elite that float. They different from the bottom feeders. They floating. They better than you. They floating, levitating, and it's a job that's not finished. That's what the floating capstone represents. That's a capstone. You don't think they got the sacred knowledge, the same sacred knowledge that they raid Egypt for? They raid everywhere. They raid Jerusalem, looking for the Ark of the Covenant, stuff like that. It's like, come on, man. I ain't the smartest person, but I read a lot. That's what these white folks fail to understand. Like, they think I'm a stupid nigga, a chicken and a biscuit nigga, but I'm not. And no matter how much I tell them, they not respecting me. Like, I will always be a chicken and biscuit field nigga to them. No matter how much I tell them, I'm highly intelligent. I know you're in the cult. I know you're in. I know you're racist. Like, why are you like, and you think other people don't know this about you? So, like, who's the fool? You play a fool to catch a fool. Another concept they talk about in the 48 Law. This book is like indispensable. It's indispensable. So, with that being said, like, I'm not voting. Video under 10 minutes, I'm not voting. Voting does not work for black people. You're voting for your slave master. They all in cults. It's all a secret society. The ruling elite. Cults. You won't be in unless you're Catholic and you're white and you have a classy bloodline. So do the research. Y'all already know it's true. I don't kick nothing but facts. Do not vote. They're going to do what they're going to do with your fate. They're going to cut food stamps and Medicare for poor people. They're going to cut it. We'll just be out here. So learn how to survive in the jungle. That's all I got to say.